Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and this is a podcast for the chilihead community, by the chilihead community, and regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, we have an amazing episode here tonight. We have two sauces on deck for Hot or Not, an amazing guest, as well as we have a game locked and loaded, ready to go. So let's go ahead and start this episode. Welcome on in, Swear Nation. So glad to have everyone here. Hey, I see the chat's already going wild and having some fun. So thank y'all so much for being here. We have two sauces on deck for Hot or Not tonight. Both of those are from Colorful Colorado Creations, as well as we have Derek from Colorful Colorado Creations on deck, ready to go for the interview and an amazing game plan. So jump on in, be a part of the chat. Leave some comments down below and let us know what you think of the game, what you think of Hot or Not. If you've tried these sauces, fire that off down below as well. If this is your first time checking out the show, so glad to have you here. This is a podcast so you can catch brand new episodes every Tuesday or Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And thank you so much for being here. We're continuing to grow. So share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of spicy and, everything to do with it. So let's go ahead and start the show. All right. Hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. We have two sauces on deck tonight. Both of these are from Colorful Colorado Creations. Definitely looking forward to diving into those. We have the Black Garlic Buffalo and the Angry Orange on deck tonight. So let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and we'll start off with the Black Garlic Buffalo. That one sounds good. Let me grab that bottle here. Give it a good shake. Loving the overall color on this sauce. It's got that nice, almost like a burnt orange look to it. Got some specks of the pepper bits in there. It looks like a little bit of black pepper going on. Maybe just some spices. But for anyone that's keeping track, this is perforated. But, always like a good excuse to use the knife. So we're going to go ahead and give it a good cut. And pull. And we're ready to go. So, if this is your first time checking out the show or checking out Hot or Not, I do things a little bit different here. I do not like to look at the ingredients ahead of time. I like to let my taste buds do the exploration. Everything is factored out of a 5-category breakdown. So those breakdowns are on heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. So let's go ahead and break into this one here. Get that going. Oh, wow. Absolutely amazing aroma. Right off the bat. It smells very savory. It's got a little bit of a buttery note to it. Nice, little bit of a garlic, obviously, picking that up. But you got a little bit of the overall pepper notes carrying forward. All in all, phenomenal smell. Definitely has that nice buffalo sauce aroma going on. Let's see how the pour goes. Nice medium consistency. Very good hold for exactly what you're looking for in a buffalo wing sauce. Go ahead and set that over there. Cheers. Oh my goodness. Melts in your mouth. Absolutely amazing stuff here. Salivating like crazy. That's definitely got to be my favorite buffalo sauce right now. That is phenomenal stuff. No flow restrictor for any of those that were carrying on that. Let's go ahead and set that one back over there. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get some of these things input and talked over. So right off the bat, it has that great, subtle, savory note. The savoriness, the butteriness, the garlic coming through, a kiss of the pepper, just harmoniously carried through this sauce from start to finish. Overall heat on this, you're definitely going to be able to enjoy it. It's not going to burn you down. It is definitely one of the more flavorful, very savory body to this overall sauce, how that carries forward. If you're into, finding a great base buffalo sauce, that is it. There you go. Look no further. That's phenomenal, and it is tasty. So let's talk about the versatility on this sauce. With it being a buffalo sauce, it's definitely not going to be something that I'm gravitating towards on a dessert. Can't even think of a dessert that I would potentially use it on. But, pizzas, wings, sandwiches, burgers, you name it, this thing's going to be great on it. Definitely looking forward to breaking into this on some tacos and doing a buffalo chicken taco. It's going to be, I can only imagine, very tasty. And all right, so let's talk about the burn. So the burn on this sauce, it does dissipate pretty quickly. The initial heat hits the lips and really the front half of the mouth, and then it starts to just get a little bit closer to about the mid-tongue, mid-mouth range, and you're not really, it doesn't really tend to progress further than that. You're just left with that great savory note with a nice touch of the pepper heat, and it's carried forward very well. If you're looking to elevate your overall buffalo sauce game, this is definitely one to take it to the next level. It is tasty, phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. But let's go ahead and do this. Let's read off some ingredients while we get that input here. So let's read these ingredients here real quick. So for Colorful Colorado Creations Black Garlic Buffalo, this says ingredients are raw cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, water, garlic, butter, salt, and black garlic xanthan gum. Man, very limited ingredients, very well executed. Love the overall consistency on the sauce. Love the taste of the sauce. Color is spot on. Man, this right here is definitely my current favorite buffalo sauce. Haven't had too many, but I can't imagine they get much better than that. Very well balanced, very nice flavor. So let's get this one read off here. For the black garlic buffalo, heat coming in at a 2.84, aroma coming in at 4.4, flavor at 4.6, versatility of a 4, a burn of 3.11 for a total swear word rating of 3.79. There we go. Absolutely tasty. I'll have the direct links for it down below. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the Angry Orange. All right, so Angry Orange. Go ahead and give it a good shake. All right, now this one. Beautiful color. Nice faint orange color throughout the whole entire sauce. Almost like a peach color, if you will. But let's go ahead and open it up. It is perforated. Get that going. This sauce as a whole, it looks like a nice medium consistency here. Maybe we'll give it a good pour here in a second. We'll find out. But all in all, not really seeing any kind of bits in there. It looks very, very seamless. Oh, wow. Wow. Hold on. Aroma. So it is called Angry Orange. And the second that you get a whiff of that aroma, it is as if you are sniffing a fresh orange right in front of you. A little bit of a, different note, little complexities to it, but, oh, very nice. Yes, nice medium consistency, closer to a thin, but right there between medium and thin. This looks like a phenomenal, just from the pour and the way it looks like it would be a phenomenal glaze or dip or coating to be able to, just use in cooking or as a finish with food. But let's try it out and see how it goes. Oh my goodness. Spot on. Flavor's phenomenal. This right here is the orange chicken sauce that you wish you had. Absolutely phenomenal. This would be, great, like I was thinking already, as a finish, as a marinade. But using this as orange chicken sauce would be absolutely amazing. Using this in a salad as like the dressing that as you're making one, this would be phenomenal for that. It carries a lot of that orange citrusy flavor through. It's got a little touch of the sweetness at the very start, and then just straight into this great citrusy orange taste with a nice finish of the pepper. And that's the same time as that pepper note starts to carry forward on the tongue, is whenever you really start to feel the heat bring in. This is slightly hotter than the black garlic buffalo. So all in all, phenomenal sauce. If you're just starting out, definitely one to use in moderation. You would love this sauce. If you're really into orange chicken, this is going to be absolute game changer. Ditch the other stuff that they give you with that. Just tell them you just want it dry and you'll do it yourself. Pick up a bottle of that Angry Orange and you are going to be in heaven. But let's talk through versatility on this sauce. So because it is, it is a bit of a citrusy note, maybe you could see myself using this on some like ice cream, maybe a fudgy brownie. But all in all, this is going to be an absolute winner on anything that you're wanting to use as a main dish without being a dessert. This will bring that nice citrusy note forward. So I would imagine this would go great on anything that you want a citrus cut, and really to be able to bring some heat as well. This is overall a very interesting and unique sauce. So I could see myself even using this in a drink per se, just a little bit in, a little bit in a lemonade would probably be pretty darn good. Let's go ahead and read off some ingredients here for the Angry Orange. So, Angry Orange from Colorful Colorado Creations. Ingredients are water, distilled vinegar, orange juice, frozen concentrate, unsweetened, undiluted oranges, granulated white sugar, cornstarch, habanero powder, xanthan gum, and orange zest. I mean, orange pop to the max, and that's what, 1, 2, 3 different ways that you can have orange in this. Very well executed. Loving what's going on. That nice kind of sizzle, sting notes from the habanero actually carry forward in this sauce, which sometimes gets lost whenever you're using habaneros in a sauce. So kudos there. And really, for the most part, it is a very limited ingredient as a whole, but you're really talking 3 different ways of orange in here. And what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other ingredients outside of that. So definitely love what's going on with this sauce. Highly recommend checking that one out. All right, let's get this one right off here. Angry Orange from Colorful Colorado Creations, with a heat coming in at 3.12, aroma at 4.3, flavor at 4.26, versatility at a 4, burn of a 3.36, for a total swear word rating of 3.8. There we go. Absolutely love it. Definitely head on down into the description. You can find the direct links for both of these down below, as well as a link to the main page so you can see the full lineup from Colorful Colorado Creations. But let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Derek, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Man, I am doing good. Absolutely amazing sauces here on Hot or Not tonight. That was the black garlic buffalo, an absolute flavor bomb, and then the angry orange. The amount of flavor carry through on both of those sauces, but definitely that orange is just insane. Really have that dialed in and nailed down perfectly.
Appreciate that, man. It's probably my slowest selling sauce, but the people that do find it and use it right love it. So
Oh yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. I can only imagine how amazing that's gonna go with like some orange chicken. Just tell them no sauce, just use that. Man,
Yep.
that's got to be absolute amazing.
That, that's the idea for it. I really like that one on some boneless wings. You know, that breading absorbs that sauce in there. Then we'll use the black garlic buffalo on the bone in wings. It's the perfect complement to each other.
Absolutely. I can definitely see that. So that's very cool. Okay, okay. Well, hey, thank you so much for being here. Obviously, it's an honor having you on. We got the chance to meet briefly at Zest Fest and have some nice conversation there. So glad to have you here and on the show and dive a little bit deeper.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. It's fun to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Get me out of my comfort zone. Good place to be.
Yeah, and I mean, no worries. This is a great avenue to be able to highlight those that are within the community, regardless of what they're doing, and really get a better understanding of who they are. And like, it's real easy to get caught up with, in this case, colorful Colorado creations, but not really understanding who is behind it all and really like the inspiration, etc. So that's what's perfect about this avenue is really being able to get a better understanding of the direction and why everything is why it is. So, what was your journey into spice like, and what got you motivated to creating colorful Colorado creations? There we go.
I love how much that tongue ties everyone. It's a blast to watch people try and say that. But yeah, man, I don't. The short answer to that is insanity. I don't really know what got me into it. Um, I think I've always been an entrepreneur at spirit, and I have another business, and I think I got bored several years ago and just decided, hey, let's start a hot sauce business. Had a little inspiration from another friend that had done it. Always loved spicy. I've always loved hot sauce. We were the family with the gallon of Frank's Red Hot growing up. It was just easy for me to, with my insane nature, just say, "Hey, let's jump into something crazy and do absolutely zero research and just go after it." So
Okay,
now I'm
okay.
here.
Very nice. Okay, I like it. Definitely always fun to hear about situations like that. And yeah, I think as far as being entrepreneurial mindset to go into this, I mean, it had to be a benefit at least to already understand the business aspect before you really jump into the sauce aspect of it all. Because I feel like the hurdle for some folks that may not have that previous background, it can be pretty daunting at times. So, did that alleviate any of that initial headache or hurdles that you were experiencing?
Maybe briefly a few things, but what I've learned is that my two businesses don't correlate together too much, or at least they didn't. But that has been a great part of this business, as it's taught me a lot of other business aspects that I didn't have for my other business, and this has brought that in, especially with marketing. This business just requires a ton of marketing with social media and just flyers and stuff like that, and then to do the farmers markets, and so it really made me dive into that, and it's helped bring me along the way.
Yeah, no, very nice. I absolutely understand exactly what you're saying as far as the need to market yourself more prevalently. You see it, anytime. Well, definitely for me, anytime I open up Instagram or any of the social media platforms, really like Facebook, Instagram, etc. I always see different hot sauce companies, different spicy companies of any walks and shapes and form. It's a lot of fun to see, but it is definitely one of those things that if you're not out there, there's so much other attention fighting, ads, etc., that are popping up in front of others. So that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, being in Colorado, you're surrounded by quite a few other amazing Colorado hot sauce companies. Whenever you were starting out, did you find yourself really gravitating towards any of these other companies for, say, questions about pitfalls or any things that you might have been looking to alleviate that struggle?
I was really blessed. John from Bear River Bottling and me went to high school together. So he started Bear River Bottling 7, 8 years ago. So he's had this huge head start, and John was just one of the most generous people I know, especially with his time and his knowledge. So um, I was writing him a book of questions every night for a month. I'm sure I annoyed him so much, and I'm just happy I could annoy him that much and give him be a pain in his ass. But he really helped me along the way with so many questions. I probably would have done it without him, but man, it would have been a lot harder. So he was my main influence, my main go-to source of help and knowledge. I am fortunate enough to be able to cook my sauce out of Horsetooth Hot Sauce's kitchen. They've been in the game around here for 20 years, so they have all kinds of knowledge and resources. So I'm really happy to be able to cook in their kitchen. But John was my main help.
Okay, very nice. It's always great to hear about, the overall collaboration, the help, the mentorship, etc., that is
Yeah.
just spread amongst the industry as a whole. And it is that if one wins, we all win type of mentality, and I really love it. It's such a positive, uplifting thing that is not that prevalent, unfortunately, in the common day to day of life. So.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere like I do in hot sauce, and it just blows me away how many guys want to help you in this industry. Give you really good, other makers will give you good leads on where to get your sauce into, or just tips and tricks to make your life better. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's the best part of this whole journey is to see the other people in the industry and see how they all want to help each other.
Absolutely. It's definitely inspirational. I love it. Speaking of inspiration, we'll dive into kind of a two-part on this. What was the first sauce that got you going? And then what has been your inspiration in making sauces and making sauce and coming up with new sauces?
Sure. I don't know exactly which one was first. When I launched the business, I launched with 6 flavors. And I kind of played with each of those when I was first starting to dabble in home batches. I think Angry Orange was definitely one of the first ones. Made that, and it was like, oh, this is really good. I certainly didn't want to make another mango habanero. I know that to me is overplayed, and it's just too many variations out there. There's some great ones, and I'm not going to try and top any of those awesome ones that are already out there. So Angry Orange came pretty quick. It's really easy to play with fruits when you're first experimenting with making sauce. So Angry Orange, lemon was pretty early on. Both of them changed a lot from what's bottled now. And then I remember when I was making Colorado Green, I thought I was making something unique by making a lime cilantro sauce. So that kind of looking back at it just makes me realize how naive I was to sauce making at that time and how little research I did thinking that flavor was unique, because it's probably mango habanero number one, and then lime cilantro is like the second most common sauce out there. But yeah, I'd say those are the earliest ones, but all 6 came within a couple months of each other.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, it's funny as you're saying that I could already picture this lineup of like the sauces that are the typical keyed up, ready to go, and the pineapple is definitely a strong number three.
Yeah.
Right after that, um, yeah, okay, very nice. No, it's interesting. I'm looking over to the side as well to the lineup of sauce. Um, you know, on a episode that was earlier on, I had the the what is it? The lemon reaper creeper. Absolutely phenomenal. Once again, another perfect execution on being able to deliver such a prevalent uh, a lemon taste the whole way through, as it normally such an ingredient like that in like the orange. from Angry Orange, it just really gets washed out and lost in a lot of these sauces. And I mean, reading the ingredients after doing the hot or not tonight was really eye opening. The multitude of ways that you incorporated the orange in the sauce. It's not just, hey, we just put orange juice. No, there's the zest. There's just quite a few different ways that you're going about it, and it is phenomenal to see. A sauce just really deliver in that, as to normally something's named something like that, but it's just washed out, and you don't get to experience it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I want to give you a compliment too on the way you do your reviews. I really appreciated watching your previous review on Lemon and Junkie's Revenge, how you taste the sauce before you ever read the ingredients. And you try and identify those flavors and you work through it in your mind before you start reading the ingredients. And I think that's really valuable because I've had some other sauce reviewers, and they first thing they do is read those ingredients, and sometimes I feel like they're influenced by that. So I really appreciated how you went about that, and I thought it made for a more honest review, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate that compliment, and yeah, it's something that I thought is when evaluating the idea of how I wanted to frame hot or not, that was definitely one of the high ranking things that I wanted to accomplish, was being able to eliminate the preconceived notions that my brain might be trying to tell my taste buds,
Yep.
and then also wanted to be able to give a little bit more of a breakdown and depth in the overall rating, if you will. So having those different categories really seemed to make more sense to me when constructing that. But yeah, no, that's greatly appreciate that. And I guess to jump off from there, you've had a multitude of different people who have reviewed your sauces, created videos online, and posted them out there. Um, Obviously, this isn't just to say that one is just leagues better than the rest, but I guess to really hone in and pinpoint the one that, was there ever a video that you've seen come out where you're just like, man, that this is exciting to see my product here in so and so's hands reviewing?
Sure, absolutely. Definitely KTB Spicy. She is just so enthusiastic about everything she does, and she's just a blast. And it took me a lot of work to get her to review it. I feel like I was messaging her for about a year, and she's so busy and has so many other people bugging her. She didn't even respond to me for a long time. So then when I finally got it in her hands, and then she just gave me phenomenal reviews. It was a lot of fun. That one was huge. Brian Am's review just made me laugh. That guy is hilarious. Him and his partner that were doing it were really cracking me up. It was a really honest review. It wasn't nothing but flattery. They were talking about some of the stuff they didn't like, and I really appreciated that too. So those two were the ones that I appreciated the most.
Definitely understand how the timing could be a little bit of a issue at times, but no, that's very cool. And to that point, yes, I think oftentimes as a viewer, just consuming the content that's put out there, I feel like it's commonly seen that, hey, so and so is just never talking bad about this or never talking bad about that. But like at the end of the day, you don't have a hot sauce company if you're constantly making bad products, right? Like you wouldn't stay in business if there's a certain level that needs to be attained in order to be viable. And so, for anyone that's watching it and they're like, man, well, there's just never anything bad about it. Well, that's not to say that, it's, absolutely the best thing you're ever going to have. Everyone has their own taste buds, their own opinions and preferences and so on and so forth. But the thought, the heart, the soul that's poured out in your sauces, very clearly seen. And, you've taken the time to have amazing labeling and just very eye-catching from the get-go. So you have the Mean Green that has a little bit of a different label. Junkie's Revenge has a little bit of a different label. what was the thought process on those slight changes ups on a few of those hot sauces?
Yeah, I don't know. Those are the two newest ones. Junkie's Revenge is its own special sauce to me. Half of the proceeds of that are going to a drug court program in Greeley that helped turn my life around. So I definitely wanted that label to kind of reflect a little bit more of a kind of a drug culture, or just be different in a sense. Um, because it is different from the rest of my sauces, and it's a very unique sauce. So I wanted a really unique label for it. And then Mean Green, it's my mildest sauce. That's the newest one. The mildest thing I ever did, and I was really looking for something that was kid friendly. And kind of a part of the idea, the labeling behind that was something that would attract a kid's attention if they're walking through a store like the Hot Sauce Realm in Fort Collins that has, hundreds of different hot sauces on their shelves. I want the kid to point at something that has this little, here, I'll show it on the camera because it's not on that part of the website yet, but
Okay.
got this little monster right here.
Let's
And
get that bigger for you.
yeah, that was kind of the idea, is just to get something that would get the kids' attention as well. Or, something someone would say, oh, that's cute. That idea is what kind of inspired that. And it was fun. So why not?
Yeah, no, definitely, it makes sense, and it's fun. It definitely so for anyone that may be just audio listening only to this. Now, the original branding with the C and the Colorado black backdrop is still there. It's just got some fun imagery on either the front or on the rest of the label band, if you will. So still very clearly the same branding across the board, just done with a more fun pop to it. So no, I love it, and definitely looking forward to checking out Mean Green here soon. That is definitely caught my eye and attention, but obviously wanted to. I've been itching to crack into that black garlic buffalo and the angry orange. So that definitely had to happen tonight so that I could whip up some wings either this weekend or early next week and go to town on that. And now that I know that the angry orange also goes great on wings, I'm gonna try that one out as well.
Yeah,
So
it kind of needs to be like one of the breaded wings. It doesn't coat the wing like the black garlic does, but if it's something with breading, it absorbs it. So yeah, give that a try.
definitely will. Okay. Now, as far as your ideas for the future, plans, and everything that you have going on, obviously you're attending shows. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I'd like to continue to attend shows somewhat. I gotta be a little bit choosier about them. Shows are really expensive, and it's hard to break even on them. There's just so much going on. There's, you know, several hundred other sauce makers out there, so you could only sell so much hot sauce at one of those things. But it's really fun for the networking aspect of it, just getting to hang out with other sauce makers, pick their brains. To me, that's the biggest benefit of it. Brand exposure is always a good thing, but it's really hard to measure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how many I do coming up. I want to do the funner ones of areas I really want to go to. I want to try and get into Portland, but that's a tough show to get into. Albuquerque sold out like right away this year, so it looks like I'm not going to be able to attend that one again. Zest Fest, I don't know if I'll be doing that one. That was a pretty tough drive for the results of it, so we'll see on that. But I just want to keep growing organically somewhat. Farmers markets around here, around my part of northern Colorado, and just try and get into more, tourist Colorado shops. That's kind of what my branding is about. And then just kind of see where it goes from there. I'm not doing this full time, so I can be a little bit more relaxed about it than some of the other craft guys out there that are doing this for their full time gig.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And I haven't driven exactly from the point where you're at in Colorado, but I have made a drive from where I am in Fort Worth area, actually not too far from the Will Rogers where Zest Fest was this year. But yeah, that trip is it's definitely harder going from Fort Worth back up to Colorado than it was for me to go from Colorado back to Fort Worth. Don't know why or how, but somehow managed to shave off like an hour and a half of the time. But
Yeah.
still, nonetheless, it is definitely a commitment. It's a haul. So
Yeah.
you mentioned Portland. Is there any other of these shows, events that you're trying to that you've wanted to attend but really haven't had a chance to?
Really, the only two big ones I've done is Albuquerque and Zest Fest because they are within driving distance of where I'm at. It's a long drive, but Albuquerque is really easy. I love that one. I would love to do New York someday, but I know that one is going to cost me a lot of money. So that might be a few years down the road. Portland, um, those are the big shows that I know of. I would definitely be willing to try some of the other ones as time goes on, but those are the two big ones I want to aim for next.
Just always curious to know as I start to even open up my ideas of attending more and more events. It's always great to hear from and understand kind of which ones are, the better ones to attend, if you will, and also the ones that just kind of treat you better, if you will, as well.
Sure.
Because that's definitely a huge part of it. I would imagine is really just how you're received and the experience while you're there. So
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they'd get one going around here. I think Northern Colorado or Denver would be a great host for a big show like that. And I wish somebody would get something big going like that because it would be a cool destination for it, especially with as many sauce makers as Colorado has. I could throw a rock out my back door and hit another guy. So
yeah,
we
no,
need one up here.
it's definitely interesting to think that there isn't one and hasn't been one. That would be, yeah, as you're saying, that sounds like it would be a very easily attainable from a planning standpoint thing
Uh,
to accomplish. So okay, that's pretty cool to think that every kind of like how so I had the North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, which is like open to any Texas hot sauce company that wants to come out there, so on and so forth. It seems like a no-brainer that something to that tune could exist in Colorado, and it
yeah,
be a Colorado-based sauce company feature. So
yeah.
okay,
The owners of the Hot Sauce Realm in downtown Fort Collins, if you haven't checked them out, you guys got to check them out. HotSauceRealm.com. They put on something called NoCo Hot Fest last summer. It was the inaugural one, and they had probably 10 of us there, and it was just a blast. So I'm hoping they're the ones that really spearhead it and take it on because they're some of the best people I know in hot sauce, and they'd be a great fit for it. So let's cross our fingers and hope they keep growing at that.
yeah, let's hope so. That sounds like it would be a blast, and once again, it's definitely close enough that it's also one of those states that makes sense that it would be an
Yeah.
easy thing to accomplish. Definitely for people that are in Texas and then wanting to travel up there, etc. Okay, so the overall uh, culture from Colorado itself, how much of that is actually taking an influence in your sauce making whenever you're thinking of ingredients and how these things are going to pair together?
Um, some, not that much. On this latest one, not so mean green. I was able to use almost all the peppers were from somebody that has a farmer's market stand down the way from me. So that was really fun to actually kind of make more of a local sauce using local ingredients, locally grown peppers. Um, there's this huge fight between or feud between New Mexico and Colorado about who grows the best chili, and I think it's just the funniest thing in the world to argue about. The New Mexico hatch green chili is widely referred to as the best green chili in the world, but so I purposefully use Anaheim's grown up here in northern Colorado, just to be like, well, how come this sauce tastes better then?
Yeah.
Funny little just whatever. I think it's all they got down there in that part of New Mexico. So maybe they just need to hang on to it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's
that's
always
the only one really I have any local connection to on the sauce.
okay. It's always that is a fun topic, and something we might see here in a little bit too. Um, but it's always a fun topic to hear people's opinions on. It's kind of like that Ford versus Chevy talk, right? But of the pepper world. There's a few things in the pepper community that are that way. It's kind of that dynamic. But it is fun to, I have no allegiances to either. I definitely have consumed more Hatch chili than the Pueblo chili. So,
Mm,
but that's just because of what's readily available around here is more
absolutely.
frequent that case. So, um, but yeah, okay, that's it. That's interesting. I definitely um, was just trying to get a gauge on that. I know some folks they'll cater it towards like something ingredient wise or in this case sauce wise that really complements or is bringing forward and highlighting a dish that they really like, and that's kind of the overall inspiration. I didn't know if maybe some of that Colorado was kind of playing into the overall flavor profiles and selections, but
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, we have a lot of really good Mexican food around here. So most of my sauce finds its way onto some sort of Mexican dish one way or another. So there's probably some influence behind that. So maybe a bit.
okay, okay, I like
Uh,
it. The as far as being able to, I know you said this isn't what your full time focus is. So it you have quite a few sauces that you have here. As far as production, I mean, what does that look like? Are you just sole man running the ship on creating production, or how does that flow work out for you?
so I create the sauces in my kitchen. My loving wife is very patient with me and allows me to experiment. She doesn't love it, but she, puts up with me. But then once I have a sauce ready to go and we do the commercial kitchen, I sign up a whole bunch of people and I get a whole assembly line going. I get about 7 to 8 people in line and we just pump it out. We pump out. I typically try and do 2 big batches in one cook. Um, I'm fortunate enough to be using Horsetooth Hot Sauce's kitchen, and they got 2 big steam kettles, so I'm able to do some pretty big batches of around 1,000 bottles a batch. And I'll just line up a bunch of people and we'll just do a whole assembly line of producing it, bottling it up, and then getting it back to my warehouse.
Yeah, no, I that makes perfect sense because I know it's a very daunting task, and definitely whenever it's a solo man type of ordeal, it's got to be uh, near impossible to really pull off a huge. You'd be there for quite a while, so
Yeah,
to
I don't
be
know
able
how
to,
guys like Zach Perkins does it with him and just one other guy and the amount of sauce they're making. It sounds exhausting to me. So
yeah,
props to those guys. Props to all you sauce makers that are doing these large batches all by yourself, or even not large batches, even if you're doing medium batches, but often enough. It's exhausting. It's hard work. So
yeah,
hats
ab-
off to you guys.
absolutely.
Wow.
Well, you mentioned doing your sample batches at the house. You have your, Wilson approved on everything. For anyone that's listening or watching, I guess could you go ahead and let everyone know who Wilson is?
Yeah. Hold on here. This was my wife was hoping this would happen. So this is Willson. He is our official mascot. He's on every bottle. So he's kind of our mascot and just always sitting there staring at me as I'm making the sauce. So we thought it would be fun to put him on the bottles and share Willson with the world. Um,
Absolutely,
there
absolutely.
he goes.
So, it's always great. So I too am a pet lover. So I have an English bulldog. I grew up with cats and dogs, but once I had the choice of what pet I wanted, I've always had this fascination, which I'll tie into in a second. But I had this fascination with English Bulldogs growing up. I had no clue why. Finally get one. Love him to death. He's actually, gosh, is he 9? He's either 9 now or he's about to turn 9. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to do some math, and that's not going to do too well for keeping the flow of conversation. But the overall crazy thing to me was afterwards talking to my dad. My dad's like, you got an English Bulldog. He's like, your grandparents had one. And I was like, thinking about it. I don't even remember it. Now, both my grandparents on my dad's side passed away pretty early on in my life. So, but it now makes sense. Like, I was over there all the time with them. And if they had an English Bulldog, that makes sense why I was gravitating towards really wanting to have an English Bulldog. But
Yeah.
big into animals, and so to see Wilson's face on the box, on the overall bottles as well, it was exciting to see, and wanted to dive a little bit deeper in there. So how, I guess, real quick on that too, how long have y'all had Wilson?
My wife had him before we met. So he's 13 years old, and she got him when he was just a kitten. She found him at the coffee shop she was working at. Somebody just left the box of kittens outside there, and it's just kind of destiny and meant to be. We have his whole story on the website. If you're a cat lover and you just gotta know more about Willson, you could go to my website, and there's a about Willson tab, so you get to know his whole history and all about him.
There we go. I like
Yeah.
it. So anyone that's interested, head on over and take a look at Wilson's story. I know I'll be checking it out the second we're done with this here, and getting to know Wilson a little bit more. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game. Here we go. We have the 5. So this one is slightly custom tailored to you, and something that we discussed earlier during the interview may or may not make its appearance on here. But for all of those that are watching, listening, and may not be familiar with the 5, here is how it works. I will show 5 different images, all at random, and this is where you, Derek, get to decide, is the image number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no hard set preferences on this. 5 could be the best, 5 could be the worst. You get to decide as we go. So, are you ready?
I guess. Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. Up first, we'll grab this one. All right, this is Colorado mountains. Just this is just to indicate in time and enjoyment with the mountains.
Okay, I mean that's number one. I don't, that's my place right there. It's where I want to be. Let's
All
throw
right,
it number one.
easy enough. Shrink it down so the next one can get in there, but let's go ahead and grab that. So up next, we'll grab this one. This is the city. This is just to represent city life in general.
Uh, let's put that down at five.
All
Not
right.
exactly where I want to be or spending all my time for sure.
All right. Easy enough. All right. Let me grab this one, get it out of the way. And here we go. We have the Hatch Chili.
Ooh, let's put that up at number two. Those mountains wouldn't be great without that right next to it.
All right. Now here comes the real kicker. Now we have the Pueblo chili.
Mm, making me hungry. All right, let's keep that at. Let's go number three.
Number 3. All right. Easy enough. And that automatically leaves number 4 as Colorado itself. So I don't think that's. How do you feel about it? What do
I
you think?
feel great about that. It's
Okay.
about the right priorities for me.
All right. So we're still keeping number 1 as the top spot and number 5 as the bottom spot.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. If, obviously we're not able to change the game, but if we were there any of these images you would want to flip around?
Maybe the chilies, just because the second one or number 3 shows them getting roasted. Love me a good fire roasted chili, but
Okay.
I'm okay with how it is now.
All right, so here we go. Round number 2 of the 5. You got a good feel for how the game goes and how it's going to be played. This one is going to be a little bit more interesting. And for any of those that are not in Colorado, we're going to get a little bit more insight on Colorado, at least from your perspective. So here we go. Up first. This town. Oh, this town might look a little bit familiar to you. That actually probably isn't getting big enough on the screen, but there we go.
Oh, it's Loveland.
There we go.
Yeah, that's where my heart is, man. Number 1.
All right. I thought about holding off until the very end on putting that one, but I didn't wanna set you up for a bad time. So, all right. Now that we got the easy one out of the way, here we go. Next up is Denver.
Yeah, Denver's great. It's a cool place to go visit once in a while, but I don't want to spend too much time there. So let's put it at number 4 because I have a feeling of what might be below it.
Okay. All right. I'm interested to see afterwards what if it isn't on here, what you
Yeah,
think it was that would be below it. Once again, in no order. We'll go ahead and grab this one. And man, I'm gonna have to really blow this one up. I remember it. Yep, golden. I didn't want to misspeak.
okay. Golden's cool. Not somewhere I spend a whole lot of time. Just a neat town now. Let's put it at 3.
All right. Now, all of these were on the top 7. So there's only 5, obviously, but top 7 places to visit in Colorado. And so I was curious on your opinion and take on this. So here we
Is that
go.
the Springs?
Yep, Colorado Springs.
Springs is itself is all right, but right next to it is a little town called Manitou Springs. It's like right off the side of it, and it's just one of the coolest little towns. So I'm going to put Springs at number 2 because
All
of
right.
its relation to Manitou Springs.
All right. I like it. I like the justification and breakdown. Definitely insightful for all those that are going to be listening and watching later. Let's pull this one up here and Telluride.
Telluride. Oh man, what a cool town. I would, if I rearrange this, it would have went up to number 2 because that is just a really, really cool town. Got to spend some time there growing up with my dad and stuff. So, yeah,
All right.
I was thinking you were going to put one of the armpits of Colorado in here that we're known for. That's why I saved room down there at number 5. I was born and raised in Greeley, and that's got a notorious reputation for being a stinky town. They do a lot of cattle processing there. Definitely, you know, was good growing up there, but I'm happy I don't live there anymore. So I was leaving room down there at number 5 for Greeley or maybe Pueblo or Commerce City, just in case he threw one of the armpits in.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I like the justification. I like the planning, knowing how the first round went, how you could strategically set yourself up for a better position on the second round. But yeah, okay. No, like once again, this was all off of a list that was supposed to be the top 7 places to visit. So we'll roll with that. I think the selection was great. Now I know some insight on places I can visit and should visit next time I go to Colorado.
Yeah, Manitou Springs should be right up there for anyone. Uray would be a really cool place for people that just want to experience the true mountain town. But Telluride's right up there too.
All right, I like it. I definitely think that's going to be a great one. Let's do this. This is a great time for the nugget of knowledge. So this is Something that you would tell yourself or someone else to avoid a pitfall early on that you wish you either you would have known or share with others on. So
Thought I have on that is your website. Hire somebody or make sure you really know what you're doing from the start on building your website. I did my own in the beginning, and it was a huge source of frustration. It looked like crap and it didn't work right. So, hiring somebody to help me out with my website from the beginning was huge. And website sales are my favorite kind of sales. I get to do it from my couch instead of having to get up at 6 in the morning and go to some farmer's market, or trying to peddle my sauce to stores that might want it but trying to talk to the right person. So yeah, that's probably my nugget.
okay, very nice, and that sparked a thought that I had, and I actually had it earlier, and I forgot to ask it. Do you have do you have a way of tracking, or do you track kind of where the majority of your sales are coming from a state level?
I don't, and I do. I try really hard to get more social media followers at my farmers markets events and stuff like that. But then when I have these orders come in from Illinois and Florida, wherever else, it just sometimes baffles me. I'm like, where did these come in? And I wonder, is it someone listening to the swear word? I hope,
Yeah.
but uh, on previous reviews, I gave them coupon codes to give to their listeners, but I never got a single one of those cashed in. So I don't, and it always baffles me. And I wish I could really track them. On my website, it shows me where they found me, but it's not very accurate. So I don't know.
The next thing is the hot seat nomination. So this is a chance for you to put someone on the hot seat that you think would make a great guest for the show.
Normally, I'd want to say John from Bear River because I always nominate him for this stuff. But I think I need to move on from John. He's a big boy. You know him. You'll find him. Let's do Tamaris from Hawaiian Hot Teas.
All right.
Uh,
Tamaris, I'll be reaching out. We'll find a time that works best to have you on the show. And we had the pleasure of being able to meet in person at Zest Fest. So should be a very seamless transition to planning on that front. So definitely looking forward to that. And thank you for that nomination. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up or discuss?
yeah, I always like to talk about Junkie's Revenge. That sauce, again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the podcast about half the proceeds are going to the drug court program that helped turn my life around, helped get me into recovery and stay in recovery. But the overall message from that and what I love to use hot sauce to do is talk about recovery and talk about how many of us there are out there that are in recovery and have found a way out of it. A lot of times people just focus on the negative stats of recovery, that this small of a percentage ever recover from heroin or ever recover from meth. And I am a recovering heroin junkie. That's where Junkie's Revenge gets its name from. And I just want to share that message because I think people don't hear about the success stories often enough. So if you, the person listening to this podcast, has somebody that's suffering from addiction, or you're suffering from addiction yourself, just know there is a way out. There's always hope for those people. And that's the big message I'm trying to spread with hot sauce.
Awesome. And such a powerful message as well. Thank you so much for sharing that. How can everyone find you and not only get a hold of your products but find you on socials?
Yeah, absolutely. My website is colorfulcc.com. My social media on Facebook, it's Colorful Colorado Creations, and Instagram, it's CO Hot Sauce. The letter C, the letter O, and then hot sauce.
All right, there we go. Well, thank you so much. It's been an honor having you on. Definitely looking forward to diving back in on another episode, having you back on, because there's still so much more we can discuss. We barely even got to scrape the surface on everything you have going on, but it's been an honor, and definitely looking forward to having you back.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Hey, thank you so much, Derek, for coming on the show. It was an absolute blast having you on. Definitely looking forward to having you back on again. If you're looking to get a hold of Colorful Colorado Creations, see the full lineup, pick up either of the sauces that were on Hot or Not tonight, I'll have the links down below, as well as all the ways that you can keep up with them on socials. If this was your first time checking out the show, glad to have you here. This was an absolute blast here tonight. And let me know in the comments what you thought. But hey, we have opened up sponsorships for the podcast. So if you are looking to sponsor it, head on over to www.theswearword.net, or you can reach out on socials and we'll get that conversation started. So episode number 60 is in the books. Man, it is wild to think that we are already here. Don't forget to come back every Tuesday and Thursday for a new episode. I'm Brendan Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.